Have you ever thought interior designers only use custom elements, which only leads to more expensive price tags? Well, I'm here to challenge that thought today because we're going to dive into how custom actually works to your advantage in both aesthetics and pricing. You heard that right. You can actually save money by working with a designer who sources custom furniture, window treatments, rugs, etc. for your project. And I'm about to explain how. From floor plans to 5-year plans, business to finding balance, I'm Ashley Bruggeman, an interior designer with a love for beautiful living and a belief that style and substance go hand in hand. I'm pulling back the curtain on design, resilience, and entrepreneurship. Expect real talk, refined tips, and just the right mix of polish and personality. So pour something sweet and join me for a thoughtful conversation with a generous helping of charm and circumstance. From interiors to entertaining, business to beauty, I'm covering it all with a little Southern sensibility. I'm Ashley Bruggeman, and this is Charm and Circumstance. Today we're diving into something near and dear to my designer heart, the magic of custom. In a world where instant gratification rules and mass production is the norm, I'm making the case for bespoke. Why it matters, why it lasts, and why it tells a better story than anything off the shelf. So pour something lovely, settle in, and let's talk about the power of one of a kind. You walk into a retail store and they have furniture of all kinds on display across the showroom floor. They have fabric samples hanging from a rack in the middle of the showroom, and the salesperson helping you tells you they have countless fabric options, which means around 200 or so. And they have COM options as well. COM stands for Customer's Own Material, meaning they'll tell you how much yardage is needed for a particular chair, for example, and you'll purchase the fabric you want elsewhere at retail pricing and provide it to the furniture manufacturer to use. You'll also need to provide details to them, like whether you want the fabric to run up the bolt or railroaded. These refer to the direction that the fabric runs across the furniture. If you provide trim that you found elsewhere at retail pricing, you'll need to provide specific instructions on how it's to be applied. There's a lot to go wrong, and a lot of details must be noted and communicated accurately. And if it's not your wheelhouse, it's a lot to take on. So you're either choosing from one of their own fabrics. 200 fabric options is a very limited number, by the way, because as you get into combining it with every other detail in the room, you just can't put it all together as well with those types of limitations. Or your other option is that you're now ordering the chair from this retailer at their retail price, no matter what they're telling you it is and how much they're supposedly discounting it. You're paying extra to use your own COM fabric outside of what they offer. You're paying retail for that fabric, and you're having to put in a lot more work, making decisions and communicating exactly how the pattern should be centered, which direction it should run, etc. Long story short, you're now putting in more work, have more at risk of going wrong, and you're paying a lot more. As with anything in this world, everything is marketing, and so retailers will throw out words like custom, bespoke, make it your own, etc. But the important thing to note is that a retailer only has so many fabrics or options at their disposal, because behind the scenes, they're either having to inventory these fabrics or purchase them from vendors, and they're only going to do this on a limited basis because it's just not an efficient way to run a retail business. Semi-custom is selecting the fabric from their offerings, those fabrics hanging on the racks inside the store. And finally, off the rack means as is. The chair is on the showroom floor in a blue plaid cotton fabric, and you order or purchase that exact chair on the showroom floor in that same blue plaid cotton fabric. Now, I'm not here to bash buying standard furniture off the showroom floor or any of these other options. I've purchased these ways for my own home. But I'm going to explain that if you're in the market for furniture and you're choosing between going to a furniture store or a big box retailer, meaning Restoration Hardware, Our House, etc., and you would also like to pull the entire room together and even have some extra details to make your furniture unique, unlike anyone else's, then you want to work with a professional designer who sources and orders custom furniture from their trade-only vendors. Bespoke isn't just about luxury. It's about lifestyle, values, and storytelling. If you walk into a friend's home and see the most gorgeous sofa you've ever seen with to die for pillows that have tassel trim and colors that pop against the sofa and coordinate with a detail trim that wraps around the entire hem of the sofa, and then you ask your friend where they got it because you can literally envision this sofa in your living room. Then they tell you they worked with an interior designer who put it all together and ordered it. This means you won't be able to copy their exact sofa, which, to be honest, probably makes your friend happy because she likely wanted unique pieces all to herself. But then you hire an interior designer and you can show them what you love about this sofa, but they're going to find you another sofa, other fabrics and trims that you love just as much, if not more, and that work perfectly in your home with everything else you already own. This is custom, but this is also how interior design works. I order from the same manufacturers that furniture stores order from, and for that matter, a lot of the big box stores. But I also have dozens of fabric vendors at my disposal, and trim vendors, and rug vendors, and custom capabilities there, and lamp and accessory vendors, and light fixture vendors, and drapery and window treatment vendors, and hardware vendors, and cabinet vendors, and tile vendors. Okay, I'll stop. My point here is that a retailer doesn't sell everything I just listed. So you're left trying to coordinate it yourself, whereas an interior designer is able to pull every single detail of a room together because, frankly, our vendors are basically unlimited, and we have the experience and skill set to pull it all together well. I find that custom is particularly helpful when I'm working on a project that has a mix of existing pieces that will need to be incorporated with everything new, which happens often. For example, I just finished a large renovation project where the entire first floor was redone with new furniture and every other detail. But as I took inventory of what they had, there was an existing sofa in their family room that was in good shape and wouldn't be difficult to work into the new design, so I suggested they keep it. Then I designed 2 chairs in a fabric I selected to pull in color to the room, but that would work well next to the sofa. I also added a custom tape or trim along the hem of the chairs to pull it all together even more. I also designed custom pillows for the sofa to tie everything together with a fabric I selected and a fringe trim, and then used my skilled tradespeople to create exactly what I had envisioned. Custom is the understated confidence in a piece that fits exactly as it should. Like a well-made blazer, it's not just pretty, it performs. It outlasts time, and it tells a story every time you enter the room. Okay, so now let's talk about why custom is worth the investment. There's a craftsmanship behind Bespoke. Skilled artisans, heritage techniques, and timeless materials. Solid woods, handmade furniture, hand-upholstered pieces. These are privately owned businesses, many based in North Carolina, in and around the city of High Point. The companies are built on generations of craftsmen who have passed down their trades to their children. They all have strong Southern accents, and I can really sense that they see their responsibilities as duty, not just a job. It's a huge difference from the commercial side of the industry where, as a designer, you're dealing with publicly held companies whose top priority is and always will be the bottom line. When you're investing in custom pieces through a professional interior designer, you're investing in vetted craftsmanship and manufacturers who stand behind what they create. As a designer, my relationships with these trade-only vendors means they work with me to solve any issues that arise. They don't just sell products and walk away as so many retailers do. By the way, trade-only vendors means that they only work through professional designers and are not available directly to the public. Because they make products with high quality materials, they of course age better and hold their value, making them worthy of being passed down for generations. Have I mentioned that you actually never pay more than retail prices for furniture and components that are a part of a custom project with Ashley Morgan Interiors? So if you were to order the same chair in the same fabric off a retail floor, you would actually pay more for it than you would ordering it through me. Custom components also allow us to design for your specific lifestyle, from storage needs, perfected proportions, and appropriate finishes. We don't have to settle for what's available or in the standard product line. The options are truly unlimited. There's also an emotional ROI when it comes to investing in custom pieces. There's pride in owning something unique, created just for you, that no one else has. There's meaning in owning custom pieces that you can pass down through generations that you were a part of creating. When we design a custom piece for a client, we're not just giving them something beautiful. We're giving them something with roots. It's made for them, and in many ways, it becomes part of the family history. So now let me tell you about how Ashley Morgan Interiors approaches custom. From client discovery to collaboration with artisans, there's a lot of thought that goes behind creating custom elements for a project. From the existing features of a design, furniture, or other pieces to architectural elements and the deciphering of needs that clients may not even realize exist. We then collaborate with our vendors and artisans to create the perfect elements, adding their experience and talent to the mix. One of my recent projects needed to incorporate an old Turkish rug that was a bright red, completely gorgeous on its own. However, I'd wanted to take the interiors very light for several reasons, and blues and greens were the subtle pops of color I wanted to use. Using custom components was the magic that allowed me to tie it all together in a very intentional way. Custom fabrics, upholstery trims, and window treatments created a piece of art. Built-ins that blend architecture and function is another example of custom. So built-ins and custom casework allow for detailing that can tie into architectural details within the home. It can also be designed to provide specific storage capabilities and components to display special items. A bespoke bar or vanity tailored to daily rituals is another great example of custom. As women, we each have our own routines for skincare, makeup, hair, etc., not to mention preferred products that come in various packaging and sizes. Imagine a vanity and storage that is designed specifically for these items, with plugs right in the places where you need them, but not in the way of anything else. This is the beauty of bespoke design. Custom doesn't have to mean complicated. It just means considered. At AMI, we guide clients through the process so what they receive is not only beautiful, but exactly right for them. So let's talk about how to know when custom is right for you. I'm by no means saying that everything has to be custom, but when custom serves the client's needs better, that's when it's the right choice. And remember that custom doesn't always mean it's the most expensive option. A great custom piece can even be just one anchor piece in a room or architectural details that increase the value of your home. As a homeowner, my advice to you is to be patient. The process of getting all the details right takes time. And then the wait for a custom piece can be a lot, but it's so worth it. You have to trust your designer and the process. Communicate as much as you can to your designer about your preferences, your fears, your wishes, how you function in your space, and how you want to function in your space. So how could you incorporate custom into your home? It's actually much easier than you think. Even if you just need a few pieces of furniture or just a new sofa, you are able to use our services at AMI for that alone. We can make selections and order the pieces, overseeing the process until they're delivered into your home and ready to be appreciated daily. If you've ever struggled to find the right thing, that piece that fits your space and your soul, it might be time to go custom. It's not about showing off. It's about showing up for the life you want to live. Custom matters, not because it's trendy, but because it's timeless. Because in a world full of sameness, having something that's made just for you, thoughtfully, beautifully, and with purpose is a true luxury. If today's episode inspired you to consider the bespoke route, or if you already have a piece you adore, I would love to hear about it. Send me a DM or tag me on Instagram at Ashley Morgan Interiors. And as always, thank you for joining me here on Charm and Circumstance. Until next time, my beautiful friend. Thanks for joining me on Charm and Circumstance. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow along on Instagram, because charm is personal and circumstance is what you make of it.